More semi-state girls lacrosse action coming your way from Noblesville High School this evening. Our second of two games tonight on IndianaSRN. We will find out who is heading to the state championship game in Class 1A between the Brownsburg Bulldogs and the Fishers Tigers. This evening's broadcast on IndianaSRN is brought to you by Reynolds Farm Equipment, your local hometown John Deere dealer, open since 1955 with 5 locations in central Indiana. Boilermaker Local 374, a union representing skilled workers in Indiana. Boilermaker Advantage. Burtner Electric, spark with confidence, your trusted electrician partner since 1986. Wheeler Mission, helping our neighbors in need since 1893. We've been here to help thanks to caring individuals. Aspen Creek Grill, a large selection of food made from scratch and fairly priced. 2 great locations in Noblesville and Greenwood. The Morales Group, our mission is building better futures, one story at a time. LifeWise Academy, to positively impact students, schools, and communities. Contact them at lifewise.org. Officially Human, our mission is to restore respect to game officials and recognize them as authorities on the fields and on the courts. Ref Reps, at Ref Reps, our mission is to help the world see the game through the eyes of the officials. And by the IndianaSRN Sports page, sports from border to border and coast to coast. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Jarrett Lewis along with Coach Laura Rogers. We're back for our second game of this evening. We saw our first game tonight and found out what the Class 2A state championship matchup is going to be. Guerin Catholic, the Golden Eagles, taking care of business against Hamilton Southeastern 14-6. So Guerin Catholic will look for their third state championship in the last 4 years, as they will take on the defending state champions in the Carmel Greyhounds. Our game this evening to wrap things up on a Wednesday night, the Brownsburg Bulldogs and the Fishers Tigers. The winner gets a date with the St. Joseph Huskies on Saturday afternoon from this very field, and we will have those games for you on Saturday right here on IndianaSRN. So, Coach, we know we have Brownsburg coming in at 16-3. They were the champions of Sectional 7. Wins over Columbus North and Roncalli, where they scored double-digit goals and gave up 6 goals or less to their opponents. So another one of those teams that has that high scoring capability, but also tremendous on defense. And then on the other side of Fishers, a win over Homestead, where they put up 21 goals in the Sectional 6 play. Brownsburg won this matchup 18-12 about a month ago, actually a month ago today. So could we expect a little bit more of the same, a high-scoring affair? That seems to be the theme over the past 2 days here at Noblesville.
Yeah, kind of a tale of 2 seasons. So Fishers coming in with 13-7. Although I'll tip my hat to the Tigers, they played a much harder schedule, with most of their losses coming from teams in that 2A bracket. Brownsburg, 1 2A loss and then a 1-goal loss to St. Joe's. Brownsburg's attack is very youth-driven, with a lot of their leading goal scorers, the Christopher twins, Maddie Gottlieb, Grace Grabowski, all underclassmen. So not a ton of playoff experience for the Bulldogs at this level, so it'll be interesting to see how they adjust.
We'll meet the Fishers Tigers first. Their starting lineup being introduced at the moment, so let's go to the PA announcer.
Number 7, Maddie Harmeyer. Number 41, Nina Hernandez. Number 15, Brooklyn Hudnut. Number 23, Stella Mast. Number 65, Zoe Newell. Number 39, Luciana Riley. Number 44, Greta Scott. And in goal, number 29, Haley Thompson. Coach Laffin assisted by Gabrielle Bates, Gabrielle Brown, Anna Clancy, Evelyn Riley, and Mike Riley. And now introducing the home team for tonight's game, the Brownsburg Bulldogs and their head coach, Caitlin Lawson. Here's Coach Lawson's starting lineup for tonight. Number 6, Bella Dunnigan. Number 15, Maggie Kinman. Number 27, Brea Tubbs. Number 30, Haley Schaefer. Number 99, Georgia Osmond. Wearing 0, Izzy Latimer. Number 3, Grace Grabowski. Number 21, Madeline Gottlieb. Number 24, Addison Frieden. Number 42, Madison Christopher. Number 84, Peyton Christopher. And in goal, number 44, Blythe Palmer. Assistant coaches for the Bulldogs, Emma Roskowski and Cece Damler.
So there are your starting lineups for Fishers and Brownsburg. We'll get this game going underway here shortly. Terrific setting at Noblesville High School. Plenty of cloud cover. We saw the sun peeking through during that first game. Don't think we'll get much or any of that for this second contest to wrap up this Wednesday night. Our final semi-state matchup in girls lacrosse on IndianaSRN, and then we'll play for state titles on Saturday night. Brownsburg will be in the white. Fishers wearing all red. Again, these two teams did meet a month ago today. Brownsburg won that one 18-12. We've seen a lot of goals. We've seen some fast starts. That's proven to be critical, leading to eventual wins for that team that gets that hot start. So who will have it here this time around in another edition of Brownsburg and Fishers Girls Lacrosse?
Welcoming our third team on the field tonight. Can't do it without our officials. So tonight we've got Colleen Mabry, Mike Doctor, Ryan King, and April Sherman serving as table official. Great crew tonight. Lots of years of lacrosse knowledge. Looking forward to this tilt.
Another great showing by the fans of both schools as well. Brownsburg fans donning the purple.
For the draw for the Brownsburg Bulldogs,
Fishers
84, Peyton Christopher.
in their red. Peyton Christopher will be a part of the draw for Brownsburg. And on the side of Fishers, we have Greta Scott.
Yeah, sometimes those ponytails make those numbers a little hard to see from the distance, but yeah, Christopher and Scott with our first draw of the evening.
Get things in order. Referee bolts back. The draw controlled by Fishers. Maddie Harmeyer picks things up in an early shot, but gloved by Blythe Palmer, who's starting in the cage for Brownsburg, and will sling things up.
Yeah, a little crease violation by Fishers as well. No one can go in that goal circle but the goalie, so ball goes to Brownsburg back on the attacking end.
Peyton Christopher, who was a part of that draw, heads towards the offensive side. With it now, Christopher, one of three freshmen, getting the start for Coach Caitlin Lawson. Peyton and Madison Christopher both out there. Here's a shot, and the first goal of the game going to Brownsburg. That's Madeline Gottlieb, the sophomore.
Madeline Gottlieb.
Gottlieb unassisted, coming off that strong side right elbow. Number 21 looks like maybe she's wearing a captain's patch tonight, getting the Bulldogs on the board early.
Another one of those quick goals scored within the first minute at the 11:07 mark. We'll get another draw between Scott and Christopher.
For the Bulldogs.
So Gottlieb is one of two sophomores starting, three freshmen, so nearly half of this starting lineup for Coach Lawson being terrific underclassmen. The second girls game of the evening on the network getting going. We did have a boys matchup that also just recently finished up. HSE boys a part of that one. We'll get you that score here soon as a shot flies in. The deflection by Brownsburg after the shot from Harmeyer.
Yeah, Harmeyer is really the engine of this offense. Over 100 goals this season. Having seen Fishers in person myself, everything's going to run through 7. They got to figure out a way to contain her.
Harmeyer works to her right. Now will head around the cage towards the back, trying to find a cutting teammate, which she does, so she'll pick up the assist and hand the goal off to,
Goal by the Tigers.
looks like Greta Scott. So the Fishers Tigers able to answer right back with a goal of their own.
Nice little crease roll there to shake the defender. Got her hands up and arms free to find the streaking Harmeyer there on the strong side.
So one of Fisher's rivals, or their main rival, HSC, the boys, defeating Cathedral 11-8 in that semi-state matchup. Also on the network tonight. Coming up, the final boys game of the evening, and then we'll have all the state matchups set. Carmel and Culver Academy.
It could be a double state weekend for the Greyhounds. Exciting time to be from Carmel.
This draw won by Fishers. Again, it's into the stick of Harmeyer. Harmeyer will start right. A couple of jukes. Loses it and then picked up by Scott. We do get a whistle as well after Harmeyer lost the handle. She'll have a free position top of the key.
Yeah, slow flag there on the far side. Foul was hard enough to cause Harmeyer to drop the ball, setting up the center hash free position.
Harmeyer winding things up in a shot that I don't think had the velocity she wanted with it. A long recovery picked up by Maddie Bach. Bach fakes like she's going to pass, goes behind the cage, and takes a bump and falls down. Looks like Haley Schaefer on the defense.
A long whistle there from the official, but no card, just a common foul. So she'll have the ball on the hanging hash. Not ideal for shooting as you run out of real estate real quick on that crease, so let's see if they prefer to pass.
So here's Maddie Bach switching sides on the hash. A quick pass over to Harmeyer. No good on the initial shot, and then a whistle as all the congestion surrounding the cage. It'll go against Fishers.
Lots of early whistles in this game. Maybe some jitters here in this semi-state tilt. Got to shake those off and get settled into your game.
Grace Gabrowski covering a lot of ground. Gabrowski hands off to Christopher. Playing the midfield spot. Again, a young but talented group for Brownsburg. Christopher, one of them, and she'll score. Got around the initial line of defense and then sent it past the goalie, Haley Thompson. Brownsburg now leads 2-1.
Peyton Christopher coming in off the weak side. A little left-handed shift there. Gets her hips nice square there into the heart of the goal. Finishes top cheddar.
Nearly 4 minutes gone by in our opening frame.
Out for the draw once again, number 44, Greta Scott for the Tigers.
Christopher will now find herself at the end with Scott for another draw.
Brownsburg 2 for 2 on shooting, but yet to control the ball here in the circle. Let's see if they can adjust and keep it out of the hands of number 7, Maddie Harmeyer.
Harmeyer will track it down. Harmeyer going to be hard to miss with that bright yellow stick. Christopher, the same, trying to defend her.
Yeah, some players love the bright yellow and even use yellow shooting strings to try to camouflage that bright yellow ball a little more from the goalkeeper. Not sure how well it works, but I do love a good superstition like that.
Good save by Palmer following the shot from Caitlin Anderson. I'm not sure we saw. Maybe we did. Just can't remember if seems to be more yellow sticks out there this time around than we had in our previous game this evening. Ooh, a lot of contact there as hitting the deck was Addison Frieden.
Yeah, it truly is player preference. Stick technology has come a long way in my quarter century of the game. I swear they made me play with a flat tennis racket back at the turn of the century. So kind of jealous of the technology and great equipment these young ladies get to use.
Trying to make the most of it after the whistle against Fishers. Controlling it for a second was Grabowski. She'll hand off to Frieden. A good save. And able to corral it. Looking to get things away up the field, which they do. Fishers picks things up off the far sideline.
First save of the evening for the Fishers keeper. Always good when you can get that first one under your belt and get settled into the game.
This one trickles out of bounds and will head over to Brownsburg.
Self-start there on the sideline. One of the many changes that have come to our game over the past decade. A lot less stops and starts. Used to be a whistle start on any foul or boundary ball, and now the game can just flow a little better. Self-starts in most situations, unless you're down in that critical scoring area.
Bulldogs looking to get it across midfield, which they do. Addison Frieden, one of those three freshmen that we mentioned. Hands off to another one in Madison Christopher. Peyton Christopher works her way towards the cage as Brownsburg looks to set up some offense. A pass into Christopher. That one
squeaks through.
It does get over the line. I think the Fishers goalie thought maybe she could send that one away. Peyton Christopher scores for the Bulldogs, make it 3-1.
So 3 up top here for the Bulldogs, setting maybe some low picks, a little wheel route there on the low, strong right-handed side. Pass finds Christopher, and she squeaks one there in on the near post. Brownsburg shooting well, 75% accuracy so far, but still no draw controls. So surprising score here considering the circle is telling a different story.
We'll go back to the circle. Scott, Christopher, ripped out again by Madison. And Peyton picks up the loose ball. Going from left to right, far sideline. Her and Harmeyer, who's seen a lot of early action offensively.
Yeah, Harmeyer, talented player, spent the first couple years of her high school career up at Culver Girls Academy. So I'm certain the Tigers are happy to have her back home, as she is a prolific scorer.
Looking to go back-to-back possessions with a goal. Madison Christopher will try one this time, and she'll get it by the goalie. 4-1 now, Brownsburg. The Bulldogs with
number 42,
quick scores, back-to-back possessions.
Yeah, the Christopher twins putting the biscuit in the basket for Brownsburg. Nice strong side elbow cut, coming in hard with that right hand, switching those hips, getting that stick around for a nice finish.
I'd like to know the significance behind the numbers. It's kind of unique numbers, I feel like. 84, 42, so 42 times 2 makes 84. I wonder if that plays a part. What do you
Hadn't
think?
picked up on that yet. I did coach the Christopher twins many moons ago, and would beg them to wear different shoes or different sticks, because even with the different numbers, twins at a distance are hard to tell apart sometimes. I'd be like, you know who I'm in. No, you know. Go Christopher. So, yeah, fun number. Don't think I've ever ordered an 84 as a coach before. So, having some fun over in Brownsburg.
And here's 84 again with the ball in her possession. Getting down to the 4-minute mark. 4 goals, a good start for Brownsburg, looking to add at least one more. Good early starts have proven to be effective for the eventual winning teams. Kieran Catholic able to do that in our first game this evening. Good passing, falling away. Now working back to her left. That shot just left of the cage from Madison Christopher. Her teammates, 2 of them going after that loose ball to keep the possession on this side.
Fisheries did a nice job trying to force out that initial drive. Christopher, nice sharp cut back to goal. Nice clean look. Brownsburg maintains possession.
Grabowski looking for an alley. We'll have to dish it to Peyton Christopher. The left-handed shot flings in. Peyton has 3. It's an early 5-1 hole now for Fishers.
Peyton Christopher, that's her 3rd of the night.
Have to think a pretty good warm-up, just a pretty good pregame. Whatever your superstition might be or the process you go to get through this one had to have been a solid one for the Christopher twins and the rest of this Brownsburg team, as they have limited the amount of time Fishers has held the ball, and they have made the most of their time heading towards our right and trying to score some goals.
You talk about pregame routines and superstitions, and I don't want to say you don't know, but I doubt you ever grew up with the team braider to get the hair set for the game. Just guessing. Just guessing.
That's a good guess.
Yes, every team has the designated braider who is very busy on the bus providing services to get everything up and ready for the game. Shout out to the braiders. Nice draw control and shot quickly by the Tigers.
Terrific save. Blythe Palmer getting rid of that one, as it was a point-blank shot coming from Fishers. I want to say Anderson had the look.
Yeah, quick little turnaround there off the draw. Not sure Brownsburg was ready, but win the run out, and Christopher's got the ball on the far side.
Lysiana Riley actually out there. She's got one of those yellow sticks in her right hand. She had that shot, a really good pass from Fishers, but Palmer was ready to send that one away. Brownsburg on the turnover. Yeah, we had much different superstitions, little pregame stuff on the football bus. We'll say that.
You know what? I think I'm okay not knowing what goes on.
Yeah, we don't have to go any farther.
Not knowing what goes on in a high school boys football locker room. Said as a teacher of 13-year-old boys, so I'm going to let those superstitions lie where they are.
Tigers looking to attack this time with a full team. Getting close to the cage. Palmer picks up that one.
I was not the team braider, not in my skill set, so.
Can't be too hard to find one, though. You probably have a backup braider and then a third string braider.
For sure. That's what we love about sports, traditions and superstitions.
So what happens if you lose a game, maybe you go on a losing streak? Do you switch up braiders? Do you try to find a different one?
Ooh, you know what? I'm going to have to report back to you on that one. Talk to the gals. I know I had some superstitions of my own, none involving hair, but you love hearing those weird ones. Especially, I feel like the ice hockey community is full of superstitions.
Yeah.
Those are some of my favorite. And some of the smelliest, I think, superstitions in the sporting world.
Undoubtedly. Final 30 seconds for Fishers, and getting all the way behind the defense, falling down, taking a bump. Maybe that's the level of play, the energy that Fishers needs to see. Clock still running, 15 seconds.
Yeah, a little surprised there wasn't a stop clock there. Maybe she was just beyond the critical scoring area. But decent look there by the Tigers, but goalie Blythe Palmer content to just hold the ball and finish up the first quarter here.
Yeah, another great save by Palmer. An early hole for Fishers as Brownsburg puts up 5 goals, 3 of them from the freshman Peyton Christopher. And we'll head to the second quarter with Brownsburg leading things 5-1 here at Noblesville. This is the Class 1A semi-state matchup of girls lacrosse on IndianaSRN.
Hello and welcome to Game Day. My name is Keith Myers. I'm the Vice President of IndianaSRN. We're glad that you joined us today. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN. This means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
We're not here to just sell you another piece of software. We're here to helping you procure the licensing, manage and monitor those licenses over time.
Collaboration is very key when working with our clients. We are very much a partnering organization. We definitely work as a team to deliver solutions for our customers.
We're here to build relationships with customers, which is unique.
Hi, I'm Grayson, and our parents work in road construction. Every day they head out to make our roads safer and better for you. But did you know work zone deaths have increased 63% since 2010?
Wow, that's a lot. Please slow down and pay attention when you see all those orange signs. When you do, you're helping to keep our parents and everyone who works on the roads safe. Thanks for looking out for us.
This message is brought to you by your friends at Highway Safety Services. Stay safe, stay alert.
Second quarter action about to get underway from Noblesville High School. Varsity 1A semi-state girls lacrosse. Brownsburg putting up 5 goals in that 12-minute period. 3 of those from the freshman Peyton Christopher, her twin Madison with 1. And then you also had one added in by Madeline Gottlieb, the sophomore. The underclassmen getting it done early for Brownsburg.
Yeah, those young ladies have been playing lacrosse for quite a while already, which is great to see the growth we have here in Central Indiana at the youth levels, getting sticks in hands, even down to the kindergarten level. So great to see, because that's going to raise the play here in high school for years to come.
The long goal for Fisher scored by Greta Scott. She will start in the circle at this opening draw, along with Peyton Christopher. And we have a fresh 12 minutes.
If you were to look at only draw controls, you might not believe the scoreboard. Fisher's leading that category 5-2, and 2 more shots than Brownsburg, but just not able to convert.
We'll see if switching sides will help out Fishers at all, as they will now work from left to right and go towards their bench. It is a draw controlled by Brownsburg as Christopher gets hit up high. We'll see if one of those trends has been the opening possession of a quarter. You typically see a goal, and we'll see if that trend continues here.
You always wonder with a set of twins if there's a cheerful rivalry there with the goal scoring, or if it's more synergistic. I'll assist you, you assist me, and there we go.
There
that time,
right
Madison Christopher.
They heard you. I think they were talking to each other between themselves through their minds, and then they heard you speaking up here. So you get an assist with the goal ending up for Madison Christopher picking up that one.
Yeah, maybe a little twin telepathy there. Always fun to see these family connections. If you're a fan of the sport, you probably saw over the weekend the national champions, North Carolina, had a pair of 3 sisters that took home the title. So happy weekend in that household.
Typically a lot of family connections throughout each community of Lacrosse. The Christophers right now on a nice little run as they work together around midfield and try to get this ball back in between the hashes. Threatening again, could extend this lead even more.
That is one of the wonderful things about our sport. We are a growing community, but still small enough, especially those of us who have been around the block a time or two. We all know each other. We have some great friendships, some great rivalries, so it makes these weekends all the more entertaining.
Bulldogs happy to stay a little patient this time around and let things develop. Peyton Christopher. A lot of girls to her right. She'll work towards her left. Looks to have that ability to shoot from either side of her body. She'll dish it off to her sister, and Madison Christopher picks up back-to-back goals, so now both twins have 3, and all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, it's a 7-1 ball game.
Yeah, nice little cross crease finish there. Patience, sister-to-sister feed, clean finish. If I'm the Fishers Tigers, I don't know. Is it time to face guard? Is it time to really try to slow down this two-headed Christopher attack?
Boy, it's awfully early, but you look at already the dominating performances of the Christopher twins. You got to find something, I think, early here if you're Fishers. Start off with 1 goal, start off with maybe winning this draw. If they can pick it up cleanly, they might be able to head towards the Brownsburg goalie, but that won't be the case.
Brownsburg has now evened up that draw circle, 5 apiece for the Bulldogs and the Tigers.
Another shot attempt by Maddie Christopher. It's deflected and into the stick of Harmeyer. Any offense, you said it, it'll have to go through number 7. She'll have to be a part of it in some form or fashion. Nice crossfield pass. Loose ball. Picked up. The Tigers on the attack, but right into the stick of the goalie, Blythe Palmer.
Yeah, Fisher's not quite as deep or maybe not quite as balanced in scoring as the Bulldogs, so that makes it harder as you get into a playoff run when you need to rely on more bodies to carry you through to the finish.
Harmeyer following the whistle. Scott bounced that one in, and Palmer another easy save.
Blythe Palmer, the junior, exercising her rights here. You have a 10-second count to stay inside of that crease where no one can enter and harm you. Once you step out of that crease, the 10-second count, of course, goes away. You become a common field player and can be legally checked at that point. So Palmer's stepping out, taking a look at her options.
Fishers has some numbers. Chance here. Bounce shot left of the cage. They'll chase after it, and Harmeyer was closest to it.
Again, Fisher's getting some opportunities. Their 10th shot of the game. and only one has found the back of the net. So they've got that nose to goal, but just need to find a way to see that white space and put it in the cage.
Palmer, a hard one to get it past. Harmeyer trying to get around her defender.
Most 400 miles away from each other, so a lot of our tournament games are played on the weekends as these young ladies are finishing up school, taking their finals. So a fun but kind of difficult time of year for these student athletes.
Yeah, St. Joe's will have to make the long trip back down here from South Bend on Saturday. That's closing in around 200 miles. Between them and Castle, that was the matchup yesterday, and the other one a semi-state game. They were separated by 314 miles. Here is another shot on goal, and a good one for Grace Grabowski. Grabowski joins in on the fun. So whatever was discussed between Coach Lawson and her team seemed to work out just fine as they get a quick goal out of the timeout.
Yeah, you talk about a long bus ride, but if you're getting on a bus with a chance to win a state title, I'm getting on that bus. Good Saturday, well spent. So good luck and safe travels to the Huskies, as I'm sure they're watching together, maybe having a team dinner tonight, watching this game, getting their scout ready to see who they will face on Saturday.
Right now, maybe an extra look at how Brownsburg is doing things, because they have come out swinging. It's 8-1, under 7 to play in our first half.
Brownsburg now taking the lead in that draw control category, which is what we would expect to see with a score of this nature. Yeah, Brownsburg and St. Joe's met in the regular season, and it was a 1-goal game. So if that's what the future holds for Saturday, we will be quite entertained.
Bulldogs with a lot of girls standing 15 yards from goal. Grabowski has it in her grasp again. Good defense by Harmeyer to keep her in front. Now Brownsburg staying spread out yet again. Peyton Christopher has it and might have an option to try to beat her girl one-on-one, but a good cut from Grabowski. The pass stolen away by Harmeyer.
Yeah, Brownsburg being very patient, running a little overload there, looking for that topside dodge or feed to the strong side, and the ball just bounces away from Grabowski.
Harmeyer hounded on that far sideline, looking to get rid of it, which she does. A good pass, but it's stolen away. Picked off by Izzy Latimer.
Nice ride there by Brownsburg, using that out-of-bounds line as the invisible defender to force the turnover.
Christopher will slow things down. Check that. That's Frieden.
A lot of 2s and 4s tonight.
Yeah.
24, 42, 84.
The 2 is a popular number.
Fisher's pushing out behind cage. You'll often see defenders wait at that goal line extended and let the attack do whatever they're going to do behind the goal. You can't score from behind goal, so most teams are content to wait, but Fisher's starting to push out on those low defenders.
A bump by Fishers, and Grabowski will now start things up again.
Yeah, anytime you have a major foul outside of that 8-meter arc, the officials will clear a lane to goal, but not the entire arc itself. It's still direct. You can still take a direct path to goal. It's just not going to be quite as open. It looks like we may have a conference here. Block on one end, charge on the other. So referee Colleen Mabry is signaling the 2 arms wide as an offsetting foul. So everybody's guilty. But before the game, as part of the pregame captain's meeting, much like the jump ball in basketball, we have alternating possession, and that's what's going to happen here. So she'll check in with table referee April Sherman to confirm who does indeed have AP, and the ball will go to that team, and so on and so forth. So a little similarity to basketball there.
Appears that Fishers will have alternating possession here. So, brief stoppage at the 4:10 mark. In at goalie also, Talia Graham. So the Tigers did make a change before this quarter, but it won't matter to Brownsburg as they score yet again. Fisher started with the ball in possession, but quickly turned it over, and that goal scored by Gottlieb.
Goal by the Bulldogs, number 21, Madeline Gottlieb.
Gottlieb makes it 2 for her tonight, and that increases the lead to 8.
Yeah, Maddie Gottlieb, 68 goals, 18 assists on the season, so not surprised we're calling her name. I got some substitutions going on the Brownsburg side. Looks like Maddie Christopher's going to get a well-deserved drink here with up 8 with 4 minutes to go here in the half.
We mentioned it yesterday, a chance at a running clock if you're at that 10-goal lead, and Brownsburg getting close to that, up 9-1 in this first half. Snatching it out of the air, Peyton Christopher.
Yeah, much like we talked about the shot clock in the last game, that running clock is a blessing or a curse depending on which side of the ball you are. So if you're Brownsburg, you've got that comfortable lead. That running clock's going to allow you to perhaps save some legs for the future. Don't want to look too far ahead. And if you're Fishers, you're on the clock because that's going to really shorten the amount of time you have to mount a comeback.
Ball gets flung towards midfield, a whistle. Brownsburg will hold on to it following the save by Graham and Cage. The freshmen working together, Frieden and Christopher. Three minutes on the clock in this second quarter. Loose ball.
Seems silly, but I've had bus drivers ask me in the past, any chance of a running clock? Because our bus drivers, we can't do it without them, but sometimes they would leave and go grab some dinner, and we'd be waiting for them before they were back from their dinner to come home for the game. So shout out to all the support staff at our schools that make these athletic events happen, especially our bus drivers. They put up with a lot.
Yeah, timing's kind of important for the ones that are taking you there and then taking you back. Here comes another attack from beyond the goal. Coming back around and scoring again is Grabowski this time.
Number 3, Grace Grabowski. That's her second of the night.
Make it 10-1 Brownsburg. So Grabowski has 2 along with Gottlieb. And then the Christopher twins, 3 apiece. The scoring keeps on coming for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and in a situation like this, if I'm Brownsburg, I'm honest to goodness feeling pretty comfortable. So now you have to consider, do I want to show my cards, right? Because the Huskies are waiting and watching. So here's a point as a coach where you might want to say, hey, let's keep it simple. Let's keep a couple tricks up our sleeve should we earn the opportunity to play on Saturday. So you got to be smart in this situation.
The final 2:16. Getting those sticks parallel. Jump ball won by Fishers, and Harmeyer off to the races, looking to push, looking to get involved. She's been quiet for much of this first half. Really, she hasn't been quiet, but just the fact that Fishers hasn't been able to see a lot of offense simply because Brownsburg just is scoring goal after goal.
Yeah, on the free positions, couple schools of thought. We always tell the girls, stick with your strengths. As we saw in the Carmel game last night, we've got some long-range shooters in this state who might take a step or perhaps a crow hop. and shoot for that corner. And we've got other athletes who are more content to use their speed and head into that crease. So it's a fine art, the free position.
Another deflection off of Palmer. Fishers would like to get a goal before the end of the half. Passing towards the middle of the field. Scooped in by Christopher.
One minute to go here. Fishers is just going to try to maintain this possession and keep the ball out of the hands of this potent Brownsburg attack.
Ball exchanges hands a few times. Snatched up by Amelia Kingery. Bad pass. Tigers now with 30 seconds. Can they make something happen? Enter the halftime frame with a little bit of positive energy as much as possible. A bump there, about 15 yards out. That'll stop the clock at 23.3. And I believe a timeout getting in that one is Fishers and Coach Bill Laffin. His team down 10-1. We'll step aside real quick and come back for this final 23.3 in this first half on IndianaSRN.
Aspen Creek Grill, we are a from-scratch concept with comfort fresh food. You can expect a world-class experience. We've got incredible specials, great service. Everything that we do here is made from scratch. We hand-cut all our steaks in-house. Bring your family, come have some great food.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Tigers break the huddle, drawing something up for this final 23 seconds of this first half. You would love to get a shot on goal, maybe get a better look if you can get a free position, force a foul on Brownsburg. Just something to go into halftime with feeling like you got a chance. It has been all Brownsburg through about this first 24 minutes.
Yeah, called the possession time out there with just a shade under 25 left in the half. 2 timeouts per game. Fisher's looking to make something happen here.
Clock starts as Harmeyer works from left of the cage. It was a good pass, but not a clean shot.
Yeah, it looks like they drew up a little play there using the crease as that extra pick, extra defender. With the shot coming around, I think, from Luciana Riley, but not enough.
A fight for the loose ball. Fishers does pick it up, but they do not get off a shot or a clean look before the buzzer sounds. But we do have a card shown, a yellow card from one of the officials.
Yeah, it looks like the shot, that's going to be called a dangerous shot or a dangerous propel, as the ball struck a Brownsburg player. She seems to be okay, jogging towards her sideline. But yeah, unlike basketball, we got to be a little more careful with those Hail Mary type shots in our game.
The Brownsburg defense holding strong in that final few seconds, and the goals. Abundance for the Bulldogs, 10 of them to just the one by Fishers. Quick scoring for Brownsburg. Peyton and Maddie Christopher each with 3. And then you add in 2 apiece from Grace Grabowski and also Madeline Gottlieb, 2 sophomores. All underclassmen doing the heavy lifting offensively for the Bulldogs. 10-1 as our halftime period starts to get underway. We'll step aside and come back with a few more notes about what we saw in that first half and get you ready for the second half. It's 1A Semi-State Girls Lacrosse on IndianaSRN from Noblesville.
Big play here for Mount Vernon. Ertl looking right, now over the middle, fires, and it's in there for a touchdown. What a throw. Boy, what a stick, huh? Side out, back to the middle, and guess what? You want a point on the other side, you go to Taylor Lewis.
Here's Freeman. Has an opening shot. Score!
Stafford around a screen. Skip pass. Mays with 3. Mays drive. Floater up and in at the horn.
Hand off and nice hole over the near side. 40, 35, 30. Block to the outside. 20, 15, 10, 5, and touchdown. And that's a big one right there. And finally, somebody gets on the board.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Bertner Electric Incorporated provides professional commercial electrical contractor services to Indianapolis and surrounding communities. Locally owned and operated for over 30 years, our knowledge and experience make us the perfect choice for all your commercial electrical contractor needs. Contact us today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt.
Insulting referees.
Threatening officials.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes.
Violent language in the stands.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot. It's not a game.
You want a piece of equipment you can trust, one that's easy to use. No matter the size of the job, you want to create a feeling worthwhile, something you can use for every job. For over 60 years, Reynolds has been a community staple, ensuring our customers powerful implements, top quality care and service. You need something that's in it for the long haul. Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer, today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We consider it a privilege to have you as one of our listeners and viewers. If you'd like to see more content just like tonight, just hit the donate button. Every dollar that you donate will go right back into more games right here on IndianaSRN, which means more games for you. It's IndianaSRN, where you always have a front row seat.
Looking to elevate your brand? Choose Dynamark, your local one-stop shop for all your print, signs, promo products, apparel, and mailing services. Serving Indianapolis for over 50 years. Dynamark, where strong relationships are built through exceptional service.
The sun's starting to fall as nighttime approaches at Noblesville High School. Thanks for joining us on IndianaSRN for the Varsity 1A Semi-State Girls Lacrosse matchup. It's been all Brownsburg, 10-1 after the first half of play. Jarrett Lewis here along with Coach Laura Rogers. This is a tough time for Fishers. You still have a lot of time left to go in this one, Coach, but what's the discussion? What are you saying to your girls? You need some sort of, I think, kickstart in this second half. You're going to need a good opening draw. You're going to need an early goal, and from there on, just try to ride that momentum, see if you can find your way into this one.
I think you got to go full Ted Lasso at this point and just be that goldfish. What's done is done. First half, not your best, but again, one little bite at a time. Like you said, one ground control, one ground ball, one draw control, and just show what you can do. You made it to this stage for a reason. So keep fighting, Tigers. Keep fighting.
Bulldogs winners of Sectional 7. Wins against Columbus North and Roncalli. Fishers able to get by Homestead, putting up 21 goals. It's kind of a shock that they just have the one up there. They've had plenty of shot attempts, but the goalie play of Brownsburg's Blythe Palmer can't be understated either. She's had plenty of saves off of shots from Scott. Harmeyer has had plenty of touches too. Just nothing really to fall in for Fishers, but the one goal scored by Scott.
Yeah, and if you're looking at the tape of the previous game, 18-12, so not really what we would expect. Of note here, we're going to have a free position on the draw circle for Brownsburg because of the dangerous propel at the buzzer. We had that last night as well, actually. So Fishers is going to start woman down for 2 minutes here in the second half. So a couple hills to climb here for the Tigers.
Sure thing. So here we go. Second half gets underway. Both Christophers are back out there with it now. Addison Frieden. Back to Peyton Christopher, who's got a lot of room in that middle, but it gets closed up quickly. Here's a nice cut, and the shot from the left side. A good save for Fishers. The shot was fired in there by Grabowski. And now the Tigers are in transition.
Hey, gotta feel good if you're the Fishers Tigers. Like we said, looking for that catalyst, doing the next right thing to try to claw back into this game.
Empty possession there, though, and Bulldogs will look to get beyond the defense. They do. A one-on-one opportunity here. Working towards her right. Doesn't have a shot. Working back left now, and it finds the top corner. Into the goal, Madeline Gottlieb yet again.
Maddie Gottlieb showing some two-handedness there, drawing the Fishers goalie across with the right and switching back to the left for the finish. We've reached that 10-goal differential, so now that clock is going to run with the exception of timeouts or cards. So once again, a little more trouble headed the Tigers' way here.
Back into the circle we go. Scott and Christopher. Fishers making things hard to begin that second half. You mentioned the free position, so Bulldogs begin with things. And then on their second try, heading towards the right, it was Gottlieb, who a nice little right to left move was able to get that goal off. Here goes Fisher. Scott has it following the draw win.
Yeah, card being released here. You can see the player running back on. A little difference between the collegiate game and our game here at the high school is in the collegiate game, once a goal is scored by the opponent, the card is considered releasable. So you really only go for a 1-goal deficit down during those cards. But here in high school, you serve the full 2 minutes no matter what happens. again, trying to learn and encourage that clean play. But we're back to 12-on-12 now.
Holding call committed against Brownsburg, so a shot attempt here will bounce into Palmer's stick, and she's able to get it upfield. Bulldogs looking to get out and run again.
Yeah, only the third free position of the night for the Tigers, so they got to keep finding ways to get to that goal.
Good steal by Fishers. Here goes Fishers, and they do end up with a goal. Defense into offense quickly.
Nice head of speed there for the Tigers. Some numbers a little far away for this announcer.
Number 5, Amy Cook.
Mr. Butner Stadium announcer says number 5, Amy Cook, coming out of the midfield for the Tigers.
Cook just took off. She swiped that one away from Brownsburg and did it all herself, heading the other end of the field.
Here by surprise. That's a little spark. Just takes one. Get that inertia going. So most importantly, 9 goals. Tigers stop the clock again. So that's going to help them on their quest.
Yeah, you cut it back down to a 9-goal disadvantage, so even more of a reason to propel you to try to score more goals. You don't want to be down 10. You don't want to see that clock running. You want that ball in your possession, although it's a draw won by Brownsburg. Coming from behind, Christopher loses it. Knocked out by Fishers and Caitlin Anderson.
Fortunate check ahead from Christopher to Christopher.
And now a whistle from the official in the back corner will, looks like, put Brownsburg on the dot.
The dot's still fairly new to the women's game. It's a way to have a proper penalty for minor fouls behind that goal line extended.
Whistle here. That'll send Madison Christopher to the top of the arc.
So not quite a free position, but still a pretty good look to go there. But she's content to pass it off to Gottlieb.
Gottlieb wearing the pink band on her arm, gets it back to Madison Christopher, who tacks on another one. Make it 4 for number 42. Back to a 12-goal advantage.
As we said, a lot of youth driving this Brownsburg team. Most of their goals coming from those 9th and 10th graders. So future looks bright on the west side.
Come on, kids, tell your mom you're hungry.
12-2. Got a cast of dark clouds moving in from the north, heading this way over this field. As saw a little bit of sunshine earlier, but mostly cloudy conditions both on Tuesday and tonight. Here's Harmeyer. Her shot gets by Palmer, so that's the first one in for Maddie Harmeyer.
I doubt there's been a game that Harmeyer has been held scoreless for this long, so it's got to feel good for her to get on the board. The lefty with a bit of trickery there. Pulled Blythe Palmer over to that strong left-hand side and then hit the shot backside right away from the waiting stick of Palmer.
A good check of it on the replay. Harmeyer gonna try to get a lot of work in and help her team get more looks, get some shots in. You'd feel a lot better if it was around a 6 to 7 goal game. If you can do that within this quarter and try to build off that for the final period. A whistle here. Loose ball right in front of the cage.
Looks like we've got a goal circle violation against the defense. So Fishers is going to maintain the ball back on that dot. Now, some teams, maybe not at this level, but definitely at the collegiate level, might have a prescripted dot play where you're looking for maybe some picks or some cutters from the top side. So that's something these teams can evolve into over time, is to use that dot to their advantage. Kind of like an out-of-bounds play in basketball, just a little something extra for the repertoire.
Couple of spin moves. Scott, Anderson working together. They get it back to Harmeyer, who sees a double, splits that, fires it in there off the stick of Palmer. Fisher still has it, though. Anderson couldn't corral it, but she does have that 30-yard line to help keep it in play.
Yeah, the 30 restraining line kind of acts as the invisible fence. You can reach over with your stick if you're on that backside to try to flick the ball towards a teammate, but anytime a body part crosses over, that's going to yield an offsides call.
Spin move in front of the circle. Coming in, Scott. Nearly got it back, but saved by Palmer. She has been phenomenal. Has given up the 2 goals in this quarter, but still holding Fishers as a team to 3. Loose ball here. Up in the air. And given to Brownsburg, it appears. A whistle against Fishers.
Yeah, you don't want to get sloppy here. Got to run to and through those passes in the midfield. So Brownsburg can stay in that driver's seat, maybe put another one in here and get back to that running clock with 4 and change to go in the third.
Christopher to her sister. That duo, I tell you what, a lot of the goals that Peyton or Maddie have scored on have been assisted by the other. Catch, and then a sling from the left side. A good look at it there, and the reaction from some of the teammates. You almost think, even before that ball gets let go, that's probably going to go in.
Probably going to go in. You got to wonder what that Christopher household is like in the morning. Are we getting some assist at the breakfast table? Are there socks flying across the room? Always fun when you can enjoy a sport with your family like that.
Are they at the point where they have to play outside? They have to send it out,
getting
no ball in the house.
Getting a little rough.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm guessing these gals have spent a lot of time in the backyard shooting on cage, so.
So the sisters trying to match each other. They've gone back and forth. 4 goals each for them now. Fishers, a little fast break opportunity. 3-on-2. Can they get a shot off? They will get a whistle. 2 officials on top of that play. It looks to be a free position upcoming for the Tigers.
Yeah, legal checks in girls lacrosse need to be down and away, especially in that head, neck, and area. They also need to be crisp, a quick up-down, so no slashes. So free position now for the Tigers.
Luciana Riley had a chance, but Palmer gloves that one. Off and running. Here come the Bulldogs. Fisher's trying to cut off Chelsea Baston. They do for the moment, but it's another offensive look upcoming, setting up the attack.
If I'm goalie Blythe Palmer for the Bulldogs, I'm going to rest pretty easy tonight. Holding a team to only 3 goals along with your defense here in a Final Four matchup is quite a feat.
Taking a trip behind, Grabowski. The clock continues to run. Here's a cut. And the shot. Flying up from Peyton Christopher.
Hustle play by the Tigers goalie takes possession.
Tigers will take the possession here, under 90 seconds in this third.
Yeah, nice run out by the goalkeeper there. Closest to the ball on the end line after a shot can earn possession. So not necessarily a turnover, but Brownsburg didn't have anyone in the right position to help out on that shot.
We'll fling this one up the field. The Tigers do here. Under a minute now. Some trailing players. Into Scott. A whistle as she shot it.
Shooting space violation.
Shooting space violation is the call.
Nice call there by the officials. We saw the back two trail officials there in sync. Saw that shooting space coming from a mile away. Really hard to make that. We always say if you slide from low to high, you're asking for trouble. Very difficult to hit that angle safely on that shot, and Fishers makes good.
Yeah, they take advantage of the free position. Greta Scott adds another. That's her second. Back under that 10-goal threshold.
26 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Bulldogs 13, Tigers 4.
Light's getting brighter here. We're getting closer to it being dark out. Brownsburg, though, a lot of fireworks in each quarter. The second quarter was the big one, entering halftime at a 10-1 lead. Fishers, though, has found a spark. Although Brownsburg has been able to answer each of their 3 goals given up.
Greta Scott's second goal of the evening. She had just over 50 on the year for the Tigers. Let's see if Brownsburg is just going to let this third quarter come and go here with 8 seconds remaining.
Can get maybe one final pass. 3 seconds. Christopher thought about it, but will keep things simple and head to the fourth and final quarter. 12 more minutes. If Brownsburg can hold on, they will punch their ticket to a state championship game for Saturday. You're watching Varsity 1A Semi-State Girls Lacrosse here on IndianaSRN.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Get a gator that will get you where you need to go. Something you can get in and go with plenty of space. Be ready to tackle any terrain, large or small. When you choose Reynolds, you choose reliability. A guaranteed great customer experience and relationship from the moment you walk in. Come in and see for yourself or visit reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
There's your score heading to the fourth and final frame, 13-4. Brownsburg has dominated from the get-go. If they do get one more goal, they've done this a few times where they've entered that 10-goal advantage in that running clock. We'll see if they keep the foot on the gas or if they lay off just a little bit, and perhaps Fishers can find something to kickstart a run and make things a little bit interesting. They'll have 12 minutes to do it. Thanks for joining us on IndianaSRN. We have 4 games for you tonight. We had 4 for you last night as well. 2 boys, 2 girls games. Our first one earlier today saw Gearin Catholic down Hamilton Southeastern. So they move on to the 2A state championship game that'll play here on Saturday at 1:30. That'll be the first of 2 state championship games from this field on Saturday. And then the winner of this one gets the St. Joe Huskies. That state championship game also played on Saturday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, Saturday's always a fun day. Almost 8 solid hours of lacrosse by the time we tie in the Rising Stars Showcase for our freshmen and sophomores, and then kind of our mini all-star game for the juniors and seniors. We split up into north and south for those games, and they're coached by volunteer coaches from the various programs in our state. So great way for girls to meet other people that they've played against all year and just have some fun to close out their season.
Getting things ready here with a draw to start off the fourth quarter, which will be won by Fishers, and Harmeyer will look to drive. She gets it in deep. Not a clean pass, but still controlled by Fishers. With some movement back towards the center, and a whistle.
Shooting space violation.
Shooting space violation committed by Brownsburg, so a free possession. This will be a nice way to start the fourth quarter if you can send one in here.
Fisher's 4th free position of the half. Nice little back check there by the Bulldogs. Quickly scooped up by Harmeyer, and they're back on the attack.
Yeah, that shot looked to be deflected. Another whistle.
3-second violation.
3-second violation this time.
Again, need to be marking a defender within a stick's length, just the stick, not an arm and a stick, so you can't point and be like, oh, I've got her over there. So that's a hard foul, because now she has to go all the way out behind the ball carrier, leaving that middle a little more vulnerable.
And our third whistle.
Shooting space violation called against the Bulldogs.
Shooting space violation. So we're kind of checking some boxes here with the different penalties from Brownsburg. Harmeyer from the left side of the cage.
Again, that low to high slide, something always a little tricky. Hard to get that angle on approach. A subsequent foul. Flag pulled by referee Colleen Mabry. And we're going to have yet another chance at that free position for the Tigers.
This time she'll go from the top of the key. Winding things up, moving that stick, flings it in there, and right off the numbers of Palmer.
Yeah, center chest there on number 44. Palmer almost didn't have to react, but Fishers does react. Stays with a nose for the goal and sneaks one in on the weak side there of Blythe Palmer.
That was Amy Cook again who scores her second. She had that goal in the, I believe, the previous quarter. That was the first goal scored in a long time for Fishers. They had gone cold for some time, and Cook just said, let me take this one and try to do things myself and make something happen, and she has done that twice now.
Yeah, a goal in the last 30 seconds to end the third quarter there, and then again here within these first 3 minutes. So Fishers continuing to fight. Love to see it.
13-5. Fishers will look to do it again. Got to win the draw first, which they do. Scott rips it out. Harmeyer picks it up. Harmeyer starts in the middle, now working left. Will shoot it left, and there's a goal. 10 seconds goes by, and Fishers throws in another one. Harmeyer has her second.
Harmeyer, that's her second of the night.
That's the kind of play we're more accustomed to seeing from Maddie Harmeyer, and not surprised that Brownsburg has elected to use their second and final timeout to break the momentum of the Fishers Tigers.
Head coach Caitlin Lawson wants a break. 13-6, 9:41 left to go in this one. A trip to the state championship is on the line.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We're back at Noblesville High School. A timeout called by Brownsburg after giving up 2 early goals in this fourth quarter. They still have a 7-goal lead, but you don't want to see that evaporate, especially quickly, as Fishers has found some momentum. They found a groove offensively. Goals by Cook and Harmeyer have made this a 7-goal game. Still plenty of time, especially with how quickly they just scored those 2 goals. You have more time than you think. You just got to continue to keep that pace if you want a shot at the Bulldogs.
Yeah, if I'm Brownsburg, I'm a little disappointed because, you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, and you got to kind of keep the groove and the pace of your team, build that momentum, hopefully, headed towards Saturday. So not surprised they called that second timeout. Stop the momentum of the Tigers and see if they can get back to their game.
Greta Scott, Madison Christopher meet up again. Ripped out. Harmeyer picks it up. She score even quicker this time, splitting the defense. Referee gives a signal. Another score for Harmeyer. And about 10 or 12 seconds had gone by. That's it. Don't look now, but Harmeyer and Fishers clawing back in this one.
I think maybe Harmeyer was watching some footage last night. Little Ellie Tamalia there, like, get on my back. You need a goal, I've got you. Let's go.
Brownsburg kept Harmeyer in check for much of that first half. She had the ball in her stick for much of the offense. She is a focal point, of course, but unable to really score until this second half. She puts in 2 in the matter of about 20 seconds.
If I'm the St. Joe Huskies watching at home, I'm taking note, looking for any vulnerabilities I can find and possibly exploit for either of these teams. Fishers with the ball yet again.
Harmeyer guarded by Christopher. That pass nearly stolen away. It was deflected and now picked up by the Bulldogs. Good defense by Brownsburg. Off and running. Frieden. An answer here by Brownsburg could kill a lot of momentum. Picked up by Fishers.
Yeah, Brownsburg hasn't scored since 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter, so a little drought here for the purple and white. Double team pushing out is Harmeyer.
Over to Christopher. Some close defense from Rama Abd Rabu, but it will not matter as here's another goal scored by the Bulldogs. And like we said, a goal could really have an impact on what Fishers was able to do there in that quick spurt.
Yeah, about roughly an 8-minute drought there for Brownsburg. From 4 left in the third to now 4 away in the fourth. But finding the white of the net to put them back up by 7 with 8 and change to go. 40.
Back to the middle, following another goal scored by Madison Christopher. Christopher has it yet again. And now into the stick of her twin sister Peyton. Those two combining for 9 of the 14 goals.
You can hear some of the Brownsburg crowd yelling, "Be smart, be smart." Well, what does that entail at this point? Are you looking to add a few more to your tally or just maintain possession here in the fourth? Held the call, so another free position will be earned by Peyton Christopher.
Yeah, good drive by Peyton. And just right of the cage. Could tack in another one and match her sister with 5. She'll fling it in, and there's the reaction into the net.
Number 84, Peyton Christopher.
So right on cue, Peyton Christopher has 5. 15-7 now the score. Brownsburg is now starting to extend that lead yet again.
Lacrosse is a game of runs and a game of momentum. Brownsburg used that timeout to try to ice the Fishers Tigers, and it seems to be working as they've put in 2 quick ones here in the fourth.
The Fishers fans starting to feel this one might be out of their reach with the way Brownsburg's been able to score. Can't stop those 2 Christophers. At midfield, Maddie Christopher picks it up. Down the far end, her and her sister have been working the top of this offense, getting things going for much of this night. They've also had goals from Grabowski and Gottlieb. Those 4 staying on the attack. 7 minutes to play in this one. Brownsburg trying to meet up with St. Joe's Saturday afternoon. Loose ball picked up by Fishers, or nearly picked up. Harmeyer goes after it, and she'll look to run. Has a few girls out in front. A whistle there, a whistle here. Harmeyer not stopping. Trying to score a 3rd whistle as that ball ends up beyond Palmer into the net.
Shooting space called against the
It's a shooting space call committed by Brownsburg.
If you're Maddie Harmeyer in this situation, that's kind of a mixed coin there because she had the shot to goal, but we had the simultaneous whistle for the free position. Now, in the collegiate game, that would count and stand as a goal. In the high school game, we err on the side of safety, but she makes good on the free position. Maddie Harmeyer yet again.
It doesn't matter for Harmeyer. Her 4th.
Her 4th of the night.
She says, I can score whether you foul me or not. Still, some time on this clock, 6:08. You just have to get stops. You have to win these draws. The Fisher fans wanting something to cheer for. You can hear that you got some momentum. Let's keep things going.
So Brownsburg, again, flirted with that running clock a time or 2, but unable to shut the door completely here tonight.
Harmeyer antsy to get close to that ball. Fighting for it, gets position on Grabowski, but Grabowski sees the ball go her way and will try to start this possession for Brownsburg. Bulldogs can work this side of the field with their defenders, but trying to get it inside that 30 to their attack team.
Saw it there from Brownsburg. We always coach on the clear. It's okay to go backwards, much like the airplane. Sometimes your best exit is behind you. Maintain that possession, swing the ball to the far side, and then make your attempt up the field.
Quick whistle. Looking to force a turnover. Cook with close defense on Christopher. Midfield, good pass. Frieden off the post. Deflected back towards Peyton Christopher. And another chance here to burn some precious time.
Haven't seen near as many pipes tonight in either game as we saw last evening in our previous two games. So much that it knocked the goal off its moors at one point last night. So some sharp shooters here in the state of Indiana.
Seeing these seconds tick off the clock. About at the 4-minute mark. Christopher looks to score again. Gets sent back by Harmeyer. Now to Frieden. Good deflection by the one in goal for Fishers.
The flag was up there for Frieden, but she perhaps didn't see it and kept her momentum going to goal. So since the foul didn't affect the shot, we play on. But the ball is going to remain with Brownsburg.
Talia Graham getting some time. We've seen two different girls in cage for Fishers. Trying to get it back to that offense. But Brownsburg able to juice a lot of this fourth quarter clock. That pass beyond the cage. Christopher there closest to it. Losing out on some possessions, some opportunities. Good defense by Fishers, but the disadvantage right now plaguing them as well as this clock. 3 minutes to go in this one. Out of bounds. Tigers will take it. They'll have to move quickly. Anderson will pick it up. Now toss off to, looks like Harmeyer.
Once she steps onto that field, establishes both feet, the ball is live and the defense is allowed to approach. Other than that, on the sideline, they need to give 2 meters of space for safety.
And Harmeyer going to see a lot of attention here. The double, some contact too. Harmeyer's looks good this fourth quarter. A great pass. She'll get the assist as that one finds the back of the net from, I don't think it was Scott. We'll catch the number here shortly. Stops the clock at 2:11. Fishers showing some life, not going down without a fight. You never know. You never know until there are zeros on the clock.
Many a good sports movie has been made with that same motto, for sure.
Tigers brings it to 15-9.
Back to a draw. Clock stops at 2:11. Let's draw one by Fishers. And Scott starting left. Harmeyer in the middle of the field. Sees a triple team. Will she still try to get one off? She will, and it bounces in past Palmer. So Fishers reaches 10 goals just under the 2-minute mark.
Tigers, number 7, Maddie Harmeyer.
Number 5 for Maddie Harmeyer. You know she is going to play all out until that clock sees 0.
A mere 12 seconds between those goals. So on this rate, we're in the fourth quarter of the NBA here. You know, you think you have a lead, but enough time on the clock to do some damage. Fishers is not going quietly.
It's a long field ahead of you. You have a Bulldogs will go across field.
Kind of a dangerous pass there. Brownsburg not electing to use their goalkeeper. You can pass the ball back into the keeper. Restart that 10 seconds, but have managed to get it up across the midline.
Fisher steals this one away. It's still loose. Just trying to push it to a teammate. Under a minute now. There's some contact. Fishers will play through it. Down 5 goals. Here's a shot. That one just to the right of Palmer, away from the cage. Bulldogs pick it up and will try to hold on to it, burn the rest of this 40 seconds, and punch a ticket to the state championship.
Rarely used deputy call, legal in girls lacrosse. If the goalie steps all the way out with the ball on the ground, another defender may enter and act as a goalkeeper in her stead. So rare use of the deputy there, but gets the ball up and out for Brownsburg.
Bulldogs will hold on to it. The final 10 seconds wind down. What a performance by them from the start. They put up 15 goals. They held Fishers to just 1 at halftime.
And that's the final score.
Fishers with a late comeback, but all for naught. Brownsburg downs Fishers 15-10 and will advance to the 1A semi-state matchup on Saturday afternoon to take on St. Joseph. We'll have that game for you here on IndianaSRN. That 1A game will wrap up what should be an exciting Saturday afternoon here from Noblesville. Real quick, the scoring. First for Fishers, 5 goals for Harmeyer, 2 apiece for Cook and Scott, and Newell adding 1 to give Fishers their 10. Of the 15 goals, 10 of them from the Christopher twins, Madison and Peyton each with 5. Gottlieb, 3 goals, 2 goals for Grabowski. So from what we know now, we have our matchup with St. Joseph and Brownsburg. Two teams that are similar. We know there's plenty of reasons why they've made it this far. Both tremendous scoring ability, and great goalie play. Your initial thoughts maybe on that matchup? Two very successful and exciting teams that we'll get to see Saturday.
I think we've got an exciting Saturday all around, both in the 1A and the 2A. As you mentioned, these teams squared off last. St. Joe's and Brownsburg won 2-goal game. I believe that was
great Saturday afternoon all day. We hope you join us. We'll give you that schedule one more time before we exit out of here. Things begin at 9 a.m. with the Rising Stars matchup. Then the junior and senior showcase at 11:30. At approximately 1:30, we'll have the 2A state finals game between Carmel and Guerin Catholic, followed by Indiana Girls Lacrosse Association awards handed out at 3. And then at 4, to cap it all off, Brownsburg and St. Joseph in the 1A state finals game. Thanks for joining us on IndianaSRN. For Coach Laura Rogers, I'm Jarrett Lewis saying so long for now. We will see you Saturday from Noblesville. You've been watching Indiana Girls Lacrosse on IndianaSRN.